Black on black crime is something that has been plaguing the country for decades now. I mean, this situation is so serious that the President Obama even gave a speech on My Brother's Keeper on a mentorship initiative. Now, why is it that there is this huge black on black crime attention, this black on black violence, such a huge thing in the media today? That's the thing about it. Why is it there in the first place? Anyway, why is it that the black on black crime is taking place in such a huge number? And I'll tell you why. There's something wrong with the love in the community, within the black community. There's something wrong with it. Something wrong with the love. But don't get it twisted. White folks are committing crimes as well. As a matter of fact, the white on white crime epidemic, they don't really talk about it because I guess they're not. There's no money to be made from the media or the government by promoting the dysfunctional white communities, because they commit crimes against their own kind just as much as blacks do our own kind, because the law of nature, you are going to either help or destroy the person next to you. This is natural because the person next to you is usually someone within your own community. So if you're in a predominantly white community, the person you committed crime against is going to be a white person. Same thing as the black community. It's going to be a black person. But they promote and project this image that black people are inherently more violent than anybody else, which is BS. Now, back to why is this taking place? It is an economic situation. That is the only reason why this is taking place. It's due to the economics. Nothing more, nothing less. When blacks were freed back in 1865 by the Emancipation of Proclamation, which by the way isn't what really freed us, it gave black people the right to fight in the army so we could free ourselves. Let the truth be told. But once we were free, our ancestors, where's the jobs? What are we going to do now? We have our freedom, which is an abstract term. You can't grasp freedom. You can sense it. You can experience it. But that's all it is, a word. I call it talking in the clouds. There were no jobs created for us. There was no infrastructure for us to join in. And the white folks who used to whip us with, you know, these whips and sticks and guns and set dogs on us, they didn't care about the well-being or the welfare of the black community. So the social economic situation from back then, post-slavery, is taking place right now. As a matter of fact, the prison population, the mass incarceration, especially of black folks and the young, from the school to prison pipeline, is a modern day slavery. You gotta call it like it is. This is a new civil rights. You heard it from me, Kevin Dorival, today. This is the new civil rights. We have to fight for our youth, because if we don't do it, if we don't stand up as a community, as leaders, mentors, educators, government officials, to stand and circumvent that pipeline, to stop our young ones from getting caught up in the system the way they are getting caught up right now, we are in deep trouble. In 2009-2010, there were 242 arrests made on school campuses. 70% of those students were black or Hispanic. 70%. With that being said, that shows you there's obviously some sort of bias, some sort of plan, some sort of system. Slavery is a system in itself. As Dr. Cress Welsing said in her book, The ISIS Papers, it's a process of brainwashing you to think of yourself in a certain way, to destroy your image, to cause you not to be able to find that authentic being within yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. As a black person, as a black man standing here today in 2014, I can tell you that I am in fear of the future for the youth. Not for myself, because I am conscious. I understand what is going on. I understand where it's coming from. the economic situation, the oppression that's been placed on us since we've been kidnapped and brought into the United States. Now, I'm not sitting here as a mad, angry black man. I'm just stating the pure, simple facts. We were kidnapped from Africa. Anybody wants to refute that, go read a history book. Go Google something. Now, what we're going to have to do in order to make a difference, because I don't care about screaming out problems and issues all day, all night without bringing a solution to the table. We have to find our identity, not from what we were taught in schools, not from what we were taught in the churches, that most churches have this plantation mindset that is still taking place today, which is another subject we'll talk about. But we have to get back into our roots. We have to get back to finding out who and where does my bloodline come from. As a black person, I know my people were kings and queens in ancient Africa till today. So their DNA is still within me today. And I refuse to think anything different, because I understand completely who I am and where I'm going. Now, the fact is, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, and I'm going to tell you some quick numbers, it says 1 out of every 19 black women would be in prison. 1 out of every 45 Hispanic women, and 1 out of every 118 white women. And then you have the black males, where it states that 1 out of every 15 African American men will be incarcerated, compared to 1 out of every 36 Hispanic males, and 1 out of every 106 white men will be in prison. Now, if that doesn't startle you, why is that number so disproportionate? I mean, why is it like that? Now, we got to continue asking ourselves, why? Okay, this is what it is. Why? And we know the odds are stacked against us simply because of the color of our skin. Now, I know there's great white people out there, as a matter of fact. They are great Asian, Hispanic, and all that good stuff. But there's always some bad apples in every bunch. Now, I'm not sitting here, black power, power to the people, but black is definitely beautiful. Now, I will also say this. If a parent has been incarcerated, their child is 6 times more than likely to be incarcerated themselves. So what we need to do is find these children who have parents, or mom or dad, most likely a dad that is incarcerated. We need to pay a special attention to them. We also need more mentorship programs and to support individuals like me. I'm creating a documentary right now called The Courage to Believe, a documentary to help circumvent the pipeline from school to prison by showing teens and young adults how to overcome adversity, how to persevere by using the testimonies from prominent people within our communities. For some very successful business owners, some very prominent business owners, as a matter of fact. But what I would also like to let you all know, that we cannot look at the situation and just give up hope. That is not going to do it. We have to use pure love within the community. Pure love that comes from love, not the love that comes from hate. Because someone could be abusing you and telling you they love you. They're doing it for your own good because they love you. So you have to understand, and I've read this from a couple of doctors, a couple of psychologists, as a matter of fact. When you are in a relationship or you are planning on getting married, it has to do something more than just love. It has to have commitment, dedication, and support in order to substantiate that love. It cannot just be simply love, because love can kill you. Love can destroy you, depending on where that love is coming from. This person could be a sick individual, could be a child molester, for all that matters, and have love in them, can give love. But that love from that sick individual is love from hate. That self-hatred It's going to project itself on a target. And that target we're talking about today is the black community. When you love someone, you want to see them grow. You want to see them accelerate. You want to see them enhance, advance. You want to see them being encouraged. You want to see that they are having everything they need to succeed. You want to see them happy. You want to hear them sing and dance with you. You want to do those simple things. You want to give to them. You want to share with them. That's what love does. Love, ladies and gentlemen, isn't what hate is. Hate wants you to stunt a person's growth. Hate makes you want to cause them pain. Hate, ladies and gentlemen, makes you want to kill, makes you want to murder, makes you want to violate. Hate, ladies and gentlemen, makes you want to annihilate your neighbor. Hate has no room for growth. Hate is complete darkness. Hate causes resentment. It causes disdainment. It causes you to have self-hatred. Self-hatred means that same hatred and negative energy, you're going to use that to project on other people. And this other people is in your community. Hence, black on black crime. You're going to want to destroy your neighbor. You're going to want to see them annihilated. You want to see them suffer. You want to see them starve. You want to see them shot and stabbed. You want to see them molested. You want to see them depressed. You want to see them as your servant. You want to see them in constant pain. That is not love, ladies and gentlemen. That is a recipe for the complete annihilation of our race if it continues to go this way. The God that I serve would not let this happen. That is why I am here, to join other mentorship programs, rehabilitative programs that are truly there not to stuff their pockets with money, but to actually fill the neighborhoods with loving, caring parents. Because without both parents, loving parents, having a righteous love, a pure love, it is virtually impossible to rebuild this country. Because when you take out a parent from the community into prison, especially the fathers, you have successfully destroyed the bond of a family. The love of African people is what makes us strong. That bond between us is what makes us successful. It makes life worth living. There is a collaborative consequence when a parent goes to prison, whether male or female, red, black, or white, or orange. You cannot get a student loan. It'll be very difficult to find a career working in corporate America, but you can get your own career going, your own business going, which I highly advise. It behooves you to do that. Also, it'd be hard to find a place to live, a nice place to live, out the ghetto. Now, you notice when you live in the ghetto, in most places, you don't have to do any kind of background checks. You have the first, last, and security deposit. And all you have is constant racket, constant noise, constant shooting, constant police driving around, helicopters all the time. Now, by the grace of God, I've been blessed to move out of the ghetto. And where I live at, there isn't any gunshots or police driving around. Drug dealers, obvious drug dealers going around, which I'm quite sure there are drug dealers here in the suburbs. But I do come back in the ghetto. Matter of fact, I was in the ghetto today. Back in the ghetto I was raised in. Go see my grandma and a couple of my friends to drop off some things. I mentor, I encourage them, I give them words of inspiration. And that's what we are here to do. That's the only way we're going to circumvent this problem. It's not going to stop on its own, ladies and gentlemen. It will be impossible on its own if we continue to let this cycle go on and on and on. What does this say about our future? The government spends $80 billion, if I'm not mistaken, $80 billion every year, annually, to incarcerate someone, one inmate, $68,000 each year. Each inmate. Now, when you multiply, they say this between 1.5 and 2 million people incarcerated. Back in 2012, it was 1.5, now it's 2 million. Very close to 2 million. Half of that population, 49%, over 49%, is a black population, male and female. Black males represents the largest prison population with 35.7%, if I'm not mistaken, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics. Now you multiply 1.5 million times 68,000, you get $120 billion being spent every year. Now they say it was 80 billion, but obviously 80 billion and 120 billion, that's a $30 billion difference, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, $40 billion difference. So something has to be done with these numbers. Regardless, it's too much. It takes much